bird. I felt a rush of excitement finding this beautiful, unknown-to-me bird. This is why I bird. The thrill of quiet adventure, the constant hope of discovery, the reminder that the world is filled with wonder. When I bird, life is bigger, more vibrant, and the Amazon, not surprisingly, is the perfect place to nourish such a sense. Though in that moment I was relishing feeling overwhelmed by the natural world, I don't need excess, abundance to get my adrenaline flowing, to have my curiosity piqued. All it takes is an encounter, close or unexpected, something small, even subtle, whether traveling or near my home in the Hudson Valley of New York, to make me thrill to the day. The boat, the river, this is how I have spent my life, in the outdoors, on adventures far and near. I have hiked, backcountry skied, kayaked, and rock climbed around the country and world. But the bird that held my attention, tiptoeing the shoreline, this sort of birdie encounter, was new in my life. I came late to my love of birds. Though on those hikes and paddles I wanted to know the birds, my efforts to learn were half-hearted, remained a wistful, I wish I knew. But once I realized that birds gave texture, meaning, excitement to the everyday, I gave over, converted to the tribe of binocular-toting people in hats and practical pants. My conversion story begins on a spring evening in 2009. It was the end of the semester where I teach at Bard College. I was sitting in a cabin tucked in the woods near the Tivoli Bays in New York's Hudson River Valley, with a few of my students, who were drinking beer and chatting with the exhaustion and euphoria of those who are about to graduate. While I looked forward to a summer writing and kayaking the Hudson River, they were all wondering what to do with the rest of their lives. I remembered being 22, graduating with my philosophy degree from Penn State, and thinking as they were, what now? I wanted to travel, explore, rock climb, not get a serious job. So I left for France, my mother's home country, with $1,000 I had earned bussing tables, and spent the next year and a half working the grape harvest in Champagne and as ground crew for a hot air balloon company. In between jobs, I wrote in my journal, rock climbed on the boulders at Fontainebleau and the seaside cliffs of the Calanque. Like a cat, I knew I'd land on my feet. And when I didn't, my sister Becky caught me. She was living in Paris, deep into graduate school, so not rich, but always generous. She often fed me, let me sleep on the couch, and found me work as a carpenter's helper, where I spent hours sanding overhead beams, sawdust sprinkling into my eyes and ears. Though during those years in France I had been anxious about money, had ached with loneliness, and had tossed through many nights wrestling with the heavy question of what I was going to do with my life, what I remember most is the sense of freedom I had, the privileged ability to say yes to life. I had had it easy, while these graduating students needed to find real work, were wondering about paying off college loans. 1983 and 2009 seemed worlds apart. The house cat laced its way between my legs, and I rubbed its ears. And then a spiral of white gold poured out of the hardwood forest, entered through an open window, and seized the room like a tentacle of sound. Hollow and holy, what I heard resonated so full and complex, it had texture like a silk accordion. Silent, the students looked at each other and then at me, Allie's eyes wide, Sam's eyebrows arched.